So the whole USA is up in arms over a woman being killed by ICE today. And we also have people talking about the oil, that we attacked Venezuela for the oil. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring here. You tell me if you agree with me or if you really see what's going on. The subject about the woman being killed, it was amazing how this got twisted so many different ways. There is a private army out there called the Democrats, and they really are twisting everything to try and make themselves look like the good guys. And that's the sad part. And it's not because I'm Democratic or Republican. It's what I see. When they first released video on this woman getting killed, it looked like the ICE agent that was on the side of the door was the one that kind of did it. It wasn't until much later, hours later, that you seen an ICE agent in front of the vehicle. And he was the one that actually discharged his weapon when the vehicle ran toward him. I've seen people argue that, her tires were turned the other way. Looking for any little detail they can to blame ICE. Now, there are multiple things wrong with this situation. I'm going to tell you right now. And maybe it'll help to open your eyes a little bit. That ICE agent that was standing in front of that vehicle, he apparently 6 months ago had been dragged down the road by a car and ended up with like 27 or 30 stitches in his leg. Do you think this guy might have some little PTSD going on here? And why would you get in front of a vehicle if that happened to you? But people would argue none of that matters. We had an officer standing in front of a vehicle, people yelling, "Stop." Let's understand, everybody's pretty excited. They tried to open her door to yank her out of the vehicle, but the doors were locked. He felt like his life was in danger, pulled his revolver and shot 3 shots and killed her. Now, people went crazy. But they're protesting, they're chanting. The mayor of Minneapolis or whatever is yelling and using profanity, saying this is wrong, get out of my town, and everything else. This is all a facade. Everything that a Democrat senator or anybody's doing right now is a facade. Not one is telling you the truth. Okay? And I'm going to give you the truth, and I'm even going to give you a link to a video that you can go watch and get the information for yourself. So it says a woman was killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis at about a mile from where George Floyd died. Remember that? Derek Chauvin faced the jury, that was the cop that apparently killed George Floyd. He got 22 years in prison, and the Floyd family received $27 million. Let that sink in. This family will likely get nothing. Nothing. The federal agent that shot that woman, that family will get nothing. But how's that possible if George Floyd got money? Federal agents are above the law and have been for 80 years. So literally, they are allowed, they could shoot an innocent person and nothing happens to them. You could sue the government even if they did sue an innocent person, and chances are you would get nothing. Every ICE federal agent out there is above the law. Let that sink in. So, should we have a mayor yelling? Should we have senators yelling? Should we have protests? The answer to all that is no. What we should have is people changing the law where federal agents are not above the law. They have been for 80 years. So, and I never knew this until when I did some research, and I'm sure you don't know this. But I'm sure the mayor knows. I'm sure the senators know. I'm sure government, whoever is in that, knows that federal agents can do whatever they want. Trump knew. Why do you think he brought them in and didn't use the regular police force? Regular police force is not as strong as a federal agent. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you what I think about what's going on with Trump, because I don't think he's this smart. I really don't. But the video I'm going to link to is a lawyer that explains what's going on with this, and this is what should be changed. They shouldn't be concerned about this woman. They should be concerned about changing the law that's been there for 80 years that federal agents can do whatever they want. That is just ridiculous. So in other words, if you know federal agents are in a certain city, to be honest with you, to me, that's a get out of Dodge card. As soon as I learned you have no rights whatsoever with federal agents, why are you there? Time to pack up the trailer and leave for a year until things change. It's not a good place to be. And if you're in a city where there's these ICE federal agents, you better just lock your door and order your stuff online and lock yourself up for a year like the COVID. Or stay far, far away from where these guys are. They truly don't have to obey any amendments or anything. It's a rogue government, really, with these guys. When Trump had actually said, I will support the ICE agents, you see, Trump talks in riddles. Even though he talks a lot, he talks in riddles, and he's good at it. When he said that, he already knew federal agents of 80 years of that law would never be prosecuted. And he said, oh, I'll stand behind you. He's not standing beside nothing. He's standing behind a law that's been sitting there for 80 years that nobody ever fought and changed. How can we have so many Democratic senators, being that they say they're there for the people, and this law remain there for the federal agents for over 80 years? That would say every senator, every governor, every mayor, every one of them in the U.S. are crooks. Because they haven't changed that law. That's what that means. And when you're sitting back and you're watching the media on this media circus, okay, they're just doing it for ratings. They're trying to hide the guy that's in front of the car. They're trying to, both people are saying, oh, well, he murdered her. He didn't murder her. I mean, they're all up in arms. Oh, she had 3 kids. And then they try to paint this picture, the same picture they painted for George Floyd, on how he was like this good Samaritan, when meanwhile he was nothing but a criminal. But now they're trying to paint this good Samaritan. She wrote poetry. She did this. She stepped on the gas with an ICE agent in front of the vehicle. Personally, I don't think that man should be on the job. He was dragged down the road and had gotten 30 stitches in his leg. This man's got a vendetta. He shouldn't be dealing with the public. But that's just me. If we go by the law, well, this guy did nothing wrong. He could have shot an innocent person on the sidewalk. It would not matter. Federal agents are not held to any degree. And even when you try to sue, you have to sue the United States government. Nothing happens to the agent. It totally leaves him out of it. And now they say no. Oh, this is really screwed up. Go watch that video. I'll put a link at the bottom. Now, let's take a look at the Venezuela oil. Everybody's like, well, Trump is stealing their oil. No, he's not. Let me ask you this. Would you prefer that Trump goes to war against China and millions of people die? Would you prefer Trump goes to war against Russia and millions of people die. You see, you got to look beyond our own selfish reasons. Venezuela was selling oil to Russia and China. China gets oil from 3 places, and they need a lot of it. They are burning through energy like it's water. Everybody is on a race for AI. Everybody wants to be the top dog, right? Well, to get there, you have to burn a lot of energy. China needs that oil because they want to be the first in AI. But Donald Trump has said the United States is going to be the first in AI. That's important. So what do? We take away China's oil. We kill a couple birds with one stone. We go in, we take out the dictator in Venezuela. The people are ecstatic. They have been starving for 20 years. These people got Trump up there saying, oh my God, what a wonderful man. But that's not why Trump's there. Trump wants the oil to take it away from Russia and China so China doesn't become first in the AI race. And he wants to put more pressure on, basically Putin is what Trump wants to put pressure on, so it forces him into making a deal about Ukraine, like he promised in the beginning to the American people. So it's interesting, isn't it? The oil is nothing but a way to control the AI race. Nothing more. We have tons of oil. We can get oil from Canada. I mean, it's not that. It's about taking it away from them. So now I want you to think about that and think about for a moment, that's pretty cool. I mean, when you think about what Trump has done, okay, in 1 year, he's a freaking genius. And is Trump really that smart? Especially when he talks in 4 letters? I mean, come on. You'd almost think there's somebody else back there telling him what to do. But Trump ain't going to listen to somebody. He's too cocky. He's not going to listen to some corporation guy or somebody else. He's not going to be somebody's puppet. Or is he? I think we've already got an AI that is so amazing, and China's racing to catch up, and we're trying to prevent it, that it's making a lot of Donald Trump's decision. I think this AI made the decision on how to get that guy out of Venezuela, and it gave them a complete plan, and that's why 6-8 months ago they were training in a setup similar. They already had the answers. There is no way Donald Trump knows all these little things of getting around the law and using them in Congress. And let's understand how Donald Trump thinks. Donald Trump or any other rich man out there does not think, oh, this is right, this is wrong, we shouldn't do that, oh, that's going to hurt a lot of families. That's not how millionaires think. That's not how Elon Musk thinks. That's not how the guy on Facebook thinks. That's not how they think. Get into their heads. How they think is, can I do it? Oh, it's against the law? I won't do it. Oh, I can do it? But it's really not right? Well, I don't care about right. I don't care about wrong. Can I do it? Well, yes, you can. Well, good, do it. They don't care about the people. All they care about is if they can do it. And that's what matters. They don't care if data centers are poisoning the water. They don't care if people are getting sick. They don't care if people are getting cancer. They don't care. All they care about is if they can do it. If you understand how all this works, then you would say to yourself, they're going to put a data center in? Oh, that's my house is for sale. I'm out of here. Don't even fight it. They're going to bring federal agents in that don't have to obey the amendments. You're like, why am I here? That's it. Literally speaking, and people and preppers talk about shit hitting the fan, well, federal agents come in, shit hit the fan. Okay? If a town gets wiped out by floods, shit hit the fan. There's no help coming. They don't care about you. When people bang it into their heads, the government doesn't care, you're on your own, then maybe they'll stop protesting for a crook on the street and start protesting for laws that actually help the larger majority of people. Because right now, it's just the same old, same old. And the government loves this. Why would the government not love a bunch of people walking down the street protesting about one person that gets killed? They don't want you to change that federal law where the federal agents are held accountable. Hell no. So this keeps the people separated. It's actually genius. But I don't believe Donald Trump is doing all these acts by himself. I think there's AI up there already, and I think it's telling these people what to do. And you can count on these other countries that Donald Trump mentioned he's going after. Can you imagine if the AI told Donald Trump, unless something's done about the Western Hemisphere, the United States will cease to be. Sooner or later it will crash. The economy will crash. This will crash. You just take a look at ICE agents and how many gangs and pedophiles, even good people, that they have put away and sent out of this country. It's crazy the amount of people. 3,000 Somalians up there in Minneapolis that weren't legal to be here? How did that happen? Like, what's going on? But yet you do your taxes and they know if you didn't pay $10. Something's not jiving here. It really isn't. If AI is not doing the taxes now, it will be in a couple of years, but it's got to be pretty close. You see jobs going down everywhere. 300 here, 3,000 there, 1,000 there. Well, what do you think's going on? The AI is already taken over. You don't think the United States government's got the big AI? There's something wrong. And there's no way Trump is smart enough to know all this. I don't care what anybody says. So keep your eyes open. Pay attention what Trump does this year. And see if you can actually pick out what the AI is doing. And how it's controlling your life and what's coming. Keep that in mind. Also, if you stay to the end, under my posts, I've repeated this in a couple videos, I am posting great deals that I get on Amazon. I wrote a program that tells me. Just this week alone, I had mushroom soup up there for under 50 cents a can. I bought a bunch. It's like $1 in Walmart. That's half the price. I am finding amazing deals, but they're only up there for a little while. Maybe a few hours and then they're gone. So keep an eye on my posts. I am saving you money on groceries. I really am. And I'm doing my best to do that. I'm trying to get prices that were before all this went up. And it's really a pretty intense program I've written to do this. But it's working. Now, I only post 3 or 4 a day. But there's some really, really good deals over there in the post section. And anyhow, don't be fooled by this. Go watch that video I'm telling you to watch in the bottom. Learn what your rights are and what should be changed. And all this yelling and screaming all these so-called government people doing is nothing but a facade. Nothing more. Catch you guys on the next one.